Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer, so let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
You are beloved by two groups of people that are so different, and you're loved by the Broadway community.
Thank you. Well, thank you for that.
And you're beloved by
Thank
the
you.
jazz community.
I don't know that that's true, but I love
That
it
is
if
true.
it is true. Thank you.
And that's quite a feat.
Well, the Kansas City and the exposure to my husband pianist, he was a great jazz pianist. And not just jazz, he played
Right.
everything he did. And that's what I have to have in a pianist, is somebody who can do Broadway
Right.
and jazz and swing and rubato ballads. And
Right.
they have to be able to do most of it all, because that's what I'm about. But, yeah, I think you can it's important for me to do all that, and I'm thrilled that the jazz community, a lot of people, because I don't scat very much. I don't think
You're so
that's
good at it.
jazz. See,
I know, but you're so good
well,
at
I love doing that, but
Right.
I don't think that's the epitome of jazz.
Right.
Optional notes, back phrasing,
Right.
many things are involved, and like I say, the optional notes are very important to find a different melody rather than the actual, and songwriters get upset about that.
What
maybe.
do you think is more important, your relationship with your piano player or the audience?
Oh, that's no way to answer that. Both.
Both.
Oh, sure. If you can't, the pianist is the most important
Right.
man in my life. Not just the pianist, the
Right, the
bassist and
bassist
the
and
drummer.
the drummer, yeah.
And I have a guitarist
Right.
that's just a dream that I work with all the time. He lives in Kansas City, so I can't have him in New York very often, although
Right.
at Dizzy's, we do Dizzy's at Jazz at Lincoln Center, and I bring him in for that. But, the pianist is more important than your husband. I mean,
Right.
it really is.
And you found Billy Stritch,
Well, not really. He's kind of found me.
but he was 17, is
yeah,
that
he
right?
was 17, and in
high school?
in Houston, Texas. Well, I don't know high school,
Right.
but he lived in Sugarland, Texas,
Right.
and we.
How did
and
you-
He came
how did
into
you-
a club. He just came
Okay.
into a club where I was working, and
Right.
and came a lot, and customers would tell me, he's as years went on, because
Right.
I did the club for 2 or 3 years. I would do it a month, and then I'd go away for 3 months, and I'd
Right.
come back and do it for another month. So he was in the audience, and people would say, he sits in the audience and sings with you all along.
Oh my God, how cute is that?
To show off that he knows the arrangement.
Right, right.
I said, I do. They said, we can hear him.
Right.
And I said, well, bless his heart. But he had that steel trap mind that
Yeah,
he could remember.
and he married Liza Minnelli.
Right.
What the
right.
hell was that?
Oh, you tell me. I think stardom. I think that she was a star.
Right, and he was gay. Is gay. Did you ever have a heckler or ever walk off stage for any reason?
Oh, I tell you, the interesting thing is what I can recall. I don't ever have that. I
Yeah.
don't ever have that, except at Fire Island, summer before
Cherry
last.
Grove.
Summer before
Yeah.
last, there was a drunk who is a loyal person that comes to my shows all the
Right.
time, but he was really, really smashed and sitting in the center of front row, in the center of me, and I couldn't get rid of him, and the agent didn't go and get him out. That was difficult.
The other night I was watching you, and there were two guys in the front, and you're come out for an encore. And the one guy is holding your hand and won't let go. And I looked at Mark Cortelli. I said, I'm getting up right now and telling him to just sit the fuck down and let her sing. And you were like so gracious and so funny.
Well-
and you waited and waited. Talk about timing.
Did I kiss his hand?
But no, you did. I was like, where's she going? Like, it was so, like, is she going to be like, and you said, okay, why don't you stop holding my hand now? Like, and it was It was perfect.
The other night, I put, there are chairs right by the steps.
Right.
And coming down the aisle for an entrance.
Right.
I just want somebody to take my
hold
hand,
you,
and
yeah.
there's no banisters
Right.
or anything, so I just to be sure that I don't kill myself getting up the steps. And this one guy, and he took my hand. Normally, you put your hand out, and they just get it.
Right.
They just help you.
Right.
And, they get that you want help up the
Right.
steps. And this one just sat there. He thought I was just holding his hand, which
Oh,
is
my
great. Well, no,
God.
it's great, and I do with many of
Right.
them. I lean over and touch their face or something, you know.
Right.
But this one, he just sort of sat there. I said, finally, and I'm singing at the same time.
Right, of
So
course.
you're walking along the street, and I said, "Help me!" So he did indeed help me
Right.
because he came all the way up to the stage
Right.
and stood there.
No, get off the stage.
I said, "Get off now."
Who are your favorite composers?
Oh, Johnny Mercer and Cole Porter.
Oh,
And I love Sondheim, of
Right.
course. We all love Sondheim,
Right.
yes. But Johnny really got the singer.
and
He was a cute singer, you know. He
Right.
really was a good singer.
did you ever have? Did they ever say anything to
I
you?
would have loved to have known Johnny. I didn't get to know him.
Never met him.
But he came. He must have been recording somewhere in the RCA studios,
Right.
when I was recording, and I got to the end of the session, of the recording session, and the engineer handed me a little note, like a piece of paper had
Right.
been torn off of something, and he handed me, said, "I want to give you this," and they didn't want to interrupt your session,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was the end of the session. So here's the note. I opened it up, and it said, "Your version of Misty is the best."
Oh, my God.
Signed, Johnny Mercer.
Did you save it?
Well, yeah, and I thought, oh my God! So I kind of ran out
Right,
into the
to find him.
hallway to see if I could, because I would love to have met him. You know, he didn't even write Misty,
Right.
but I recorded it on my first album, and and then now in a show I will tell this story, and just say that I ran. Well, I realized maybe he was over. There was a bar directly across the street because my
Right.
pianist husband ran to that bar a
Right.
lot
To go have a drink.
between
Yeah.
on breaks. And so I thought, well, I'd run. And of course, I thought, well, the stories are that Johnny drank a lot too.
Right.
And I thought, had we met, we probably would have
Probably coulda gotten
we would
married.
have married, yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt about it.
Have any composers or writers sought you out to?
No, because the only way that I feel we were sought out was during RCA. I was kind of, well, my A&R man called me the commitment singer.
Right.
Because they would have the rights to a Broadway show, but they would want to choose Cabaret. That's
Right.
how Cabaret happened. That's how Step to the Rear happened.
Right.
Cabaret, of course, from the show Cabaret.
Right.
Step to the Rear, How Now, Dow Jones.
Right.
And they would want some singer to sing their hit song.
Right.
And I could do the ballads if it was a ballad, or
Mm-hmm.
I could do the uptunes, So I was called the commitment singer because they would have me record their hit song before the Broadway show opened. Hence, they would get a lot of airplay and publicity for the show.
And
Tommy Toon always says we when we were rehearsing How Now Dow Jones,
Yeah.
and the cast would hear, well, we heard Marilyn Maye on the radio singing, "Everyone here, kindly step to the rear."
Yeah.
So it was great.
And you were I remember this commercial, the Lincoln Mercury commercial. You were.
Yeah.
What was that song? What was it?
Step to the rear. The same one
That
that I
was
just
the-
sang.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, because it was everyone here. Kindly step
Right,
to
right,
the rear.
but-
As Lincoln Mercury
Yeah,
leads
that's what I
the
meant.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
that was my monetary hit.
And they gave you a new car every year
They
for
did.
4 years.
Isn't
Did
that
you get to
fun?
keep it? The last one?
No, they took it away,
Fuck
and then I
them.
would get another one.
Yeah.
But then that's what I wound up. I have a very old one that I love. I love Lincoln's.
You do?
Oh yeah, and a wife, incidentally, a wife heard me recording a big executive with Lincoln Mercury.
Right. I'm gonna go. Okay, go
It
ahead.
was, yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know that part. But she said, "There's a girl singing a song that you ought to take as a commercial," and it's the wife that told the executive
Wow.
about "Step to the Rear," and that's how it happened. I also recorded it as a campaign song for
Right.
a lot of politicians. Some won, some
Right.
lost. No, Robert Ray. I have to say, Robert D. Ray of Iowa. He won 6 unprecedented terms in a row,
Wow.
and with that song, and the opponent one year put out bumper stickers. They played it so much. You know,
Right.
he used it. The Robert D. Ray, who was the
Mm-hmm.
governor, he just passed away not several months ago, and he was a darling man, and. They they played it so much that the opponent put out bumper stickers, and the bumper stickers said, "Don't blame me if you don't like if you don't like what's happening in Iowa, don't blame me, blame Marilyn." Did I
My
love
God,
that?
that's the best.
I love that.
I would love. Now, I saw you sing "I Will Survive" on the Tonight Show. It's one of the best versions I've ever.
Thank you.
You
So much fun.
do you have? When's the last time you sung that song?
We did it recently at Feinstein's 54 Below. No, when we were doing the Carson show, it's maybe been a couple of years.
Yeah.
We need to put it back in the act because it's fun.
It's
yeah.
It's unbelievable.
When I did it on the Tonight Show, I requested it to my meaningful love affair,
Right.
who we had just parted,
Right.
and I said I called him on the phone,
Right.
before the playback on the Carson show, and I said I really want you to watch the Tonight Show now because I wanted what I sang is I'm singing directly for you. And
Did you ever hear from him after that?
oh, sure, but we were not together.
Too bad you couldn't sing "Fuck you, you liar."
Well, I kind of did it with the
yeah,
song.
exactly. So, you end up doing this thing at Lincoln Center,
The gala, the big
Right.
gala.
and
It's wonderful.
you it's like they say it was your resurgence. You know, the place
Well-
goes crazy, and
Well, from that came Mo Rocca
Right.
to do CBS Sunday Morning. CBS Sunday Morning had come to film me when they were doing the Johnny Mercer show,
Right.
in a club that I was working in New York, and they filmed. They were just going to film an interview, and just watch part of the act, and they stayed there
Right.
for the whole act. They stayed there for an hour and 15
Right.
minutes.
Well, you can't.
and filmed the
Yeah.
whole act. And I thought, oh, good, I'm going
Right.
to get to be on CBS. I
Right.
bet you. But it was the Johnny Mercer show, I mean,
Right.
about him.
So, yeah.
And so they didn't take that. And so it's been probably 3 years, but came Mo Rocca, bless his heart. I thank him.
But I saw a video. You were 78, and you had just done something, and
Well, that's when
yeah.
we did the Mabel Mercer convention. What's it called?
Right.
Mabel Mercer, and at Rose Hall,
Mm-hmm.
and then came the Metropolitan Room. They built that the next
Yes.
year. And we were booked there, and that kind of started a resurgence in New York. It's not a. I hadn't been sitting around,
Right.
and just waiting to sing again.
Right.
I never stopped singing.
Did you
you know.
ever turn down a gig?
Yeah, if the money was too short.
It was all about the money. You didn't give a shit about anything else.
No,
'Cause-
I gave a shit, but
Right.
But that's important,
Right, of course.
You pay your musicians, you pay your
Yeah.
transportation, you pay your assistant.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff that you have to pay.
Did anyone ever give you some prophetic advice that you carry with you, or
Always. And many things, much advice, most of which I'd say, yeah.
right?
Okay.
But would you?
Take it.
Yeah. Any one thing, because I'm asking you this because I just had Renee Taylor on the podcast, and she said to me, she basically said, that I'm a vessel for something else, and just to remember that, when you're on stage, that you're there as
That's lovely. And
yeah,
very
and it's
prophetic.
kind of like, I've been really kind of thinking about that. And you're so
That's
positive.
lovely.
Like all right, so I've read a bunch, you said quotes from you. doing what you love and making a living at it.
Right.
And I feel the same way.
Yeah, of course.
Like I have not gone to where I want to be. I mean, I always wanted to be on a sitcom, and I always thought, I mean, even as a little girl,
And it's not too late.
well,
It's not too
I'll
late,
be,
honey.
Yeah.
No, it's not. You'll be amazed what will happen. You'll have and it isn't a resurgence, it's just a continuance.
Right.
That's what I would rather hear from people. She's continuing her
Right.
career.
Well,
I'm not resurging.
Right. So I will now be an empty nester because my
All
younger
the more
son,
reason you have more time.
and I'm worried about it. You know, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to cry, blah, blah, blah. And I started thinking about all the things I did before I had children
Right.
that I can do now,
How
but
many children? How many children?
2, Henry and Ben.
Both boys. Oh, that's
Yeah.
fun. My daughter's fabulous.
Are you very close with
Oh
her?
yeah, she's fabulous.
And
She's
you-
a great singer.
Right.
And teaches.
Well,
She
duh.
teaches kids from 8 to 18.
Does
you
she
know.
live in Kansas?
And she lives in Kansas.
And were you were very close with your mother?
Oh, very, very. But my mother she was a hard cookie.
Yeah,
she,
same.
She would, she liked Marilyn Maye more than she liked Bernice.
Right.
You know, I'm Bernice without makeup, and
Right.
she liked Marilyn Maye.
Right.
And when I was when I was in my teens, she'd point her finger at me before I was to go on stage and say, "Now, don't you let me down."
Oh God.
Uh-huh.
Do you feel like you carry that with you still?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
When
I
you
bet
let-
I
when-
bet you I do, but I don't think about it much.
But she was a single mom when there weren't that many
That's right.
single moms.
And she had a very tough life. My dad was, he didn't drink, he didn't smoke, he just loved ladies and
Right.
and had a lot of them all at once.
And he gambled.
No,
No.
never.
Oh, that's
No,
one
no,
of your
no.
husbands.
No, yeah. My
Yeah.
first husband was a gambler, but a
Wow.
professional gambler. He was successful. My second was a dancer.
Right.
You know, a great dancer. We owned a dance studio for
Right.
9 years, and my daughter was born into that studio.
Wow.
And then we divorced, and then the next one was this great pianist, you know. And it's a shame that he didn't sober up because he really would be strong in New
Right.
York now.
How do you rehearse?
With the musicians at the the afternoon before opening night.
Well, let's start with you're going to put a new song in your act.
Yeah.
How
just
would
kind of
what
by
would-
myself, just by myself,
And then-
basically, and then go to the pianist. And
Then the pianist.
Yeah, and
work through-
Now I'm teaching so much that I do so many arrangements on the
Yeah,
cuff,
do you
right
do
away.
the arrangements?
Oh, yeah.
And do you
Oh,
pick,
yeah.
like, there were so many songs that you would
That's
put
all
together,
mine.
and they're just,
I have to do that.
they're amazing.
I have to do that. That's all mine. Yeah, I've never really worked with anybody arrangement-wise, other than probably my husband, and maybe
Right.
I learned how to do that with him.
Do you read music?
Yes, and but basically these days I have such a catalog
Right.
in my brain, and now it's I'm trying to learn new stuff and,
Right.
and want to, but then all those old songs that I know
Just
sort
keep
of
coming back.
keep coming in there because
Yeah.
they work.
Is there something you've never sung that you,
Oh, so much.
So much?
So much, sure.
what's your favorite song to sing?
Oh,
Can't?
what's the old song? What's your favorite kid?
Favorite composer?
Well, Johnny.
You think John,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
You do a song, what's the song, about the guy.
Guess who I saw today?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Isn't
that interesting? They
it's-
request that, and they know the ending, but they keep requesting.
It's
it.
every time, like it's the same, you just,
It's a whole. And I love doing it because it's an acting piece. Same with 50%.
right.
That's a great story that you can get your mind around and live in that moment
Right.
with that person.
Because you are telling a story.
Oh yeah, and you become her,
Right.
whoever it is. Because I love that aspect too. We love the jazz and the swinging and all
And-
of that, but I love the acting part too.
And you don't emote. Like you emote through your voice and through your singing. But, I've seen singers like turn away to wipe a tear.
Oh.
And,
Well, I think it has to be honest.
right.
I always tell my kids, don't take on some phony persona.
Right.
Don't be somebody that you're not.
Right.
Be real. The audience, they know.
Oh, they
can
can
tell.
detect bullshit
Oh, they can
immediately.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good way to put it.
It's true.
They can detect bullshit.
And the other
Absolutely.
thing, it's like, they want you to succeed. Like, they came and paid. They want you to succeed.
They're on your side.
Yeah.
They're on your side. Take advantage of that. They want to love you. It's like, when I work with students again, they'll say, "But I'm so frightened." And I said, "Why? They love you the minute you walk on.
Right.
They want to love you.
Right.
They don't want to judge you and
Right.
and think bad things about you. They paid their money to
Right.
come and love you."
Right. I'm a member of the LGBTQ or STUVWXYZ community, and you're an icon to the gays.
If it weren't for my boys,
Yeah.
I'd be in trouble.
What?
And my girls.
Yeah. What was, as far as gay rights are concerned, you've seen the gamut from,
Oh God, yeah. And what you're still going through. But
Yeah.
then that's kind of true with all nationalities and all
Right.
kinds of things.
was it harder? Like, did you know, were people in the closet, like when you first started and you would work with musicians or performers who were obviously in the closet? Was it,
When my brilliant husband, when it just became unbearable, because he was not only a terrible drunk and miserable that way, but he was abusive too. He
Right.
was physically abusive.
I'm sorry.
So and that was a whole other story
Right.
that I haven't even talked about. But when that ended, it was terrible because he was so good that
Right.
I couldn't stand to leave his fingers.
Right.
But I had to leave the whole package.
Right.
And
just like your mother?
yeah, it was hard, and same thing.
Yeah.
And so I went to Atlanta, and I had a gig there for three weeks, and I hired one pianist, and after 4 days, I just couldn't fathom it because I hear what's going on.
Right.
I hear those chords, I hear the accompaniment that they're doing, and I work to that, and it's jarring if
Right.
it's really good. So then I hired another one for a couple of nights, and then I just called the agent and I said, "You got to get me out of this because I've got to find a pianist."
Right.
Because I had 12 years with this wonderful accompaniment.
Right.
And I said, I can't do this
Right.
by myself. And he said, "Wait a minute, there's a young kid down here." And I heard him recently, and he's in Atlanta. He lives in Atlanta. So why don't you just audition him? And I did. His name was Mark Franklin, and he was 19 years old. And we came, and he was an old soul.
Right.
I said, "How do you know how to play like that? You're
Right.
19 years old." "I don't know. I just listen. He loves
Right.
all the old performers,
Right.
and old to him." And I said, "Well, you want to go on the road?" He said, "Oh boy, I'd love that." So he joined me in Atlanta, and then I was booked in Chicago at the Drake Hotel with a big
yeah.
band, and he had never conducted a big band.
Right.
So I just went early, and I said, "I've got this kid, and you guys be nice."
Right.
Because he doesn't really know what he's doing. He knows what he's doing as far as the chords are
Yeah,
concerned
yeah.
and as far as accompaniment is concerned, but not conducting.
Right.
So I said, "I'll conduct the entrances and the exits and the cutoffs," and they were darling. I had worked with them before.
Right.
And I said, "But this kid is good, and I want him."
Right.
He was with me 20 years. He was gay, and he was gorgeous,
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful, and was an early AIDS.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, one of the early ones because
Yeah.
we would hit a rehearsal. For a rehearsal, and he'd already find a date, and but he was brilliant and fun.
Right.
He was my son. He was like my
Aw.
son. Yeah, he was just wonderful. Mark Franklin was his name. We have one album that we did together. It wasn't even supposed to be an album. We just
Right.
went into a studio and we just the man that owned the recording studio in Kansas City said, "Just come in, you guys. Just let's put down some sides and just for fun."
Right.
And so I'd say, "Okay, what do we sing now?" And then somebody would say a title. I'd say, "Oh, okay, what's the words to the bridge?" That's how we recorded
Right,
it.
right.
I said, "Oh yeah, I love that. I don't, and we'd all
Right.
fight for the words to the song." And so after he died, several years later, the engineer said, "Why don't you put that together?" And that's my rapport. I called it rapport because we had such great rapport,
Oh.
and just the two of us, you know. He was adorable and drop dead gorgeous.
Right.
Just
What a
gorgeous.
waste.
He would have not wanted to grow very old,
Right.
I don't think.
Right.
But he died at 39.
No,
so
that's way
it was
too young.
Terrible, terrible.
Way, way, way
But
too
I
young.
came to a great understanding about all of that, you know, and your sides of the life, and
Yeah.
and love, you know, and everybody's wonderful,
Yeah.
you know, everybody is so open and loving, and
Right.
there's a wonderful side to all of your. I mean, we're all people that
Right.
do what we do.
Right.
Nothing's wrong.
The Me Too movement that we're in now, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I know that I have been, I mean, the shit I've seen and heard, and, you know, I can't even imagine for you, you know, these work, I mean, you often say, my men, my, you know,
Right.
was
My
there
boys.
ever, did you ever have to fire a musician or,
Wow. I don't know. Well, leaving my husband was
Right.
was the hardest part. I you know, if people are difficult when you work with them for a while, you just don't hire them again.
right, right,
It has to be and especially now it has to be happy.
Right.
It has to be a happy
Yeah, oh, of
situation.
course.
We can't put up with temperaments or attitudes. It just has to be nice and happy.
Right.
And I'm a wonderful pianist that works with me when I teach. His name is Jeff Harris, and
Oh, I
he's
think I
so.
know him.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
He is with Maureen McGovern and
Yeah.
and Ted. You know, Ted Firth. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Oh, I know.
Such a great no, he's not Jewish.
What?
No.
Take
No.
that back.
No, take that back. He's brilliant.
Right.
And so wonderful to work with, so fabulous to work with, and just great attitude, and everything is fine. You know, he might have been up all night long to get to the gig.
Right.
He has to catch a 5 o'clock,
Right.
6 o'clock plane.
Right.
And get up at 2 o'clock to make it to the airport to get to the plane, and walk in, and everything's happy and great, and that's all I want.
Right.
That's all I want. That's
if-
all I can do. There's so much, you know. Sometimes the lighting sucks, or
Right,
you
right.
know, there can be other problems.
Right.
And maybe I'm fortunate. Everything now is happy with bosses, but there's a time when it wasn't.
Right.
And they don't understand. Like turning the air conditioning off. You
Right.
know, here it's total cooperation.
Right.
I have to have it. I can't breathe free on and sing.
Right.
So that makes me temperamental.
Right.
No, it's just a necessity.
Right.
And the people that say we understand and that's the way it is, and that's lovely. But it isn't always. It
Right,
wasn't
of
always
course
like
not.
that. Now it's like that with me in my life.
Right.
That's the one perk. Those kinds of things, you know.
Which I'm
Is-
sure would not have happened to a man.
Tune
You're
the
like,
piano. Well, tune the piano. You
Right.
know, just little
Do your
things like
job.
that.
Do
that
your
well,
job.
Those are the kind of things that I have to see to.
Right.
So I can't see to temperament within musicians or people that I work with.
If you could, if there was one, did you ever think, is there one decision you made that you're like, because I'm now like, I can't go back, I can't, you know, is there anything that you were
Would have
like,
done
I
differently?
yeah,
Oh, move to New York.
yeah, sooner.
Period. And buy a place, especially.
Right. I know, I have a rent
in the-
stabilized apartment.
Oh God, you're so lucky.
lucky.
I would kill to.
What do
to have
you,
a place.
all right, just a couple more questions.
I'm fortunate. I have a lawyer,
Right.
Mark Sendroff.
Mark Sendroff. I know Mark.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, he's the reason that I could come back, because for a long time he offered his apartment, and
Right.
the world lives there now.
Right.
He'll be mad about this.
Yeah.
and he's crazy. He's
Right.
wonderful and crazy and brilliant.
Smart, yeah.
Just brilliant and funny, and he's really hard on me. He's really, really, oh boy, he kids me so unmercifully because I can take it.
Right. What do you think of the present state of this country, and did you ever think someone like that
Oh.
person
I
could
can't.
become like?
I won't tell you what I think. I can't even. verbalize it. I verbalize it, but I can't.
I mean,
I don't want to do it
'cause,
on air.
You know, as a kid, it's like, oh my God, even if you didn't agree with the policies, you were like, that is the president of the United States. This is,
It's embarrassing.
it's right.
That's all I can say.
Yeah,
It's just
very.
embarrassing.
You're so classy.
It's just embarrassing. It's such a shame for us.
I
'cause
know.
we are so strong and so right.
And better than
and
this.
And better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe our strength is what's going to get us through.
Yeah, I remember when the AIDS crisis began, and I have so many friends, of course, that had the virus. But there was one thing that, there was this one philosophy that you're bigger than the virus. You know, that in their head, don't let the virus take
Well.
over. And that's what I feel like we have this virus, and, you know. Okay, so I ask, these are two
We
questions.
just try to stay
Yeah.
positive. That's why I sing a lot of positive songs.
Right, I know. It's just like I can't believe that I say to my kids, this is not normal. This is not how you know.
No, it's not the way it is. And of course, you're so adamant about your whole attitude is
Right. Well,
it
my
must
brother's
be-
like, oh, what are you getting all? My mother used to say, Judith, what are you getting your blood pressure up for? What do you? And then my brother's like, oh, it doesn't matter. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter because you're white and male. You know.
right,
Whatever.
honey. But just in the moment, in the
Right,
moment, in the moment. There you go.
All right, there's two.
And thank God we have so many, many, many positive moments in our life, not
Right.
in our world, but in our life.
Do you focus on? Yeah, you focus on.
Yeah,
the positive.
oh yeah.
You're just so amazing.
So I shop and look for pretty stuff.
And you look beautiful. And Bob Mackey, you're like the best model for his stuff.
Oh no, I'm not. But no,
I
I wish I
think you
had
are.
bodies that he designs for. But
Yeah.
he is the best and the dearest.
Right.
And he has his associate is Joe McFade, and they're
Yeah.
both very, very special.
You always look
special people.
impeccable. I mean, I look like a friggin'
Thank you.
slob.
Yo,
in
you
your-
don't. You look great.
Whatever.
I can't go out without my lashes.
Yeah.
It's kind of a joke with me, but you know, I'm Bernice without
Right,
my
without
lashes,
the
and
lashes.
I don't want anybody to see Bernice.
So, as you know, the name of the podcast is Kill Me Now. So I always ask, because I am like, I get very passionately angry about anything, injustice
do.
mostly. What makes you so mad? Like, just you.
Oh God, there's so much,
Pisses
and
you off.
I don't want to bear any of that.
No, oh my God, one thing. Like a minor thing, like incompetence.
I'm so mad. Oh well, I don't know, mad.
All right.
But what can really upset me
Yeah.
is bad sound, bad
Oh,
light, bad
yeah.
lighting. We're here, so
Right.
of course that comes to my mind. I don't know, but I do gunch a lot about stuff.
Yeah.
And I wonder what that is. I'll tell you later. We'll have
Okay.
to do this again.
And
I'll make a list.
okay,
Because
perfect.
I will have a long
Oh,
list.
me too. Mine doesn't end. Is there anything you haven't done that you? I mean, would you? If someone said to you right now, Marilyn, I'm writing a Broadway show. Would you,
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I don't know. I'm 90, and I don't know 8 shows a week, but I'd probably push.
right.
And as I do, you
Right.
know.
Glenda Jackson just did Three Tall Women,
Yeah. Oh,
and she
yeah.
smokes cigarettes.
Yeah, I would. Well, I've never smoked.
No.
Hence, that's why I think.
Did
my
you
voice
ever
is
smoke?
Never, never. So I
Good
think
for you.
that's why I can still sing.
Right. Your voice
At
is
90.
impeccable.
I'm
Like,
blessed. I'm very blessed, but I think a big deal of it is that I didn't smoke. Anybody that's smoking, please stop.
Yeah.
That makes me mad.
Yeah.
That makes me really mad.
and
That's
you-
one thing.
And you came up, like, I remember going on the road, and I would come home. This is when people could smoke in clubs. I would come home and open my suitcase, and it smelled
The
like
smell, yeah.
smoke.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm not ill from secondhand, because God knows you could cut
Right.
it with a knife. You can see it, you know. You can even see it with the spotlights between,
Right.
between
Oh,
you
yeah.
and the spotlights.
Right.
Oh, terrible.
I know.
Yeah.
I also ask, which I think I know the answer to, but we're
And I'm not happy about drugs. Not
No.
happy about that. I mean, I'm really adamant about that too.
Right.
Don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that.
especially
Why
the-
would you throw away your valuable life on that kind of shit?
And also, I see comics and performers, other performers, drinking before they go on stage, like
Yeah,
smoking
see.
pot, and I'm thinking, like, that's your job.
Well, my
Like,
experience with booze is, it's terrible.
Right.
I mean, I love to have a drink, one drink after the show.
after the show, always.
And I can live without that too.
Right.
But it's supposed to be for fun, not for your life.
Right. We are very pro on my podcast, mental health. I've gone through clinical depression. I have really bad anxiety. I mean, it's definitely, a disease. It's not like
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure that was true with my pianist husband.
yeah.
That I know now better than I knew in those days.
Yeah, because
but it was
he's
hard.
self-medicating.
Put him in a
Right.
I put him in a dry out place for
Right.
3 months. Cost me a fortune.
Right.
And the night before he was to be released, he went out and got drunk. That
Horrible.
kind of stuff.
Have
was
you
really
ever
a bad episode in my life.
have you ever gone to therapy or taken any antidepressants or
Never,
anything?
never.
Wow.
Never. Vitamins, kids.
Yeah, I
vitamins.
do. What I was going to
All
ask you
kinds of
that.
vitamins.
What
I wish
vitamins?
I knew. My assistant, Helen Zarda, who is my beloved assistant, she's been with me 30,
She's adorable.
30-some. She's
Yeah.
a doll and beloved. She gives me all these pills, and I don't know. She may be killing me off slowly.
Right.
I'm not
No,
sure.
I doubt that.
Because I'm not sure. But of course, C and
Right.
and all. I don't know.
I do
just
the
all
D.
those.
I do the
Do you?
B12.
Yeah, me too.
I do biotin for the hair and
Do you?
nails.
And look at your great hair.
Ugh,
And
really?
are your nails growing?
No, I don't. I hate nails.
I have a pedicure.
I know, you have
I have a
beautiful
manicure.
nails.
Well, I have a manicurist.
Yeah.
I don't do those vitamins. I do a manicurist.
Yeah, no, I'm not into them.
Yeah, she builds them. I've been for years.
I cannot thank you. I
Thank
could
you,
sit here.
Judy.
I
Bless
know you
your
have
heart.
a lunch and
It's a joy.
but I want to cry.
Thank
you
you.
have.
Thank you for inviting me.
Well, you have filled so many people's lives.
Now,
with
who will
joy.
hear this?
Huh?
Who will hear all this?
My many listeners. It's on iTunes.
Congratulations.
Yes, I
Isn't
will
that
send you a
fun?
link. But it's yeah, we do pretty well.
bet
I've had
you do.
I've had Dick Cavett on.
Bless your heart. We're going to come to see you tonight.
I can't. I know. I'm a little nervous.
No, you're not nervous at
I
all.
am.
Oh, no, I'm on your side.
All right, yeah. But it's like, I want to have a great show for you.
I'm on your- and
it's
it
like,
will be great.
I can't, like with you, when you were saying about the drunk people in the audience, it's like, just let me do my job. Like, don't come to my show
I
wasted.
can't say I'm against booze because
Right.
God knows we.
Right, right.
That's what the clubs sell, but just have the two drink minimum, and
Right.
and that's
And have some respect.
Go home happy. You
Yeah.
know? Go home happy. You don't. The 3 is probably too much, and
Right.
4 is really too much. So
Yeah.
just do your 2 drink minimum. That'll work.
I cannot thank you enough.
Thank you.
What
sweetheart.
are your? Can we plug some upcoming dates?
Well, next Tuesday we'll be at 54 Below.
that's the
that's
first
the
week
ballroom
in
there.
September.
Yes, and they're doing all the music from Ballroom, and I've been invited to do 50%. And Billy Goldenberg is going to be there, so
Right.
yeah. And Marilyn and Alan Bergman, oh boy,
Oh boy.
fabulous. In November, from the Sunday before Thanksgiving through that whole week, I think we have 8 days at Feinstein's 54
I'm gonna come.
Below.
I want to come to that.
And then next February,
Feinstein, sorry.
the Iridium. You know the Iridium.
Oh yeah, I
is,
love the
I do
Iridium,
too.
right by
It's-
Lincoln Center.
It's wonderful. It's fun. The Iridium is next to a theater on 53rd.
Yeah,
I think 53rd. No, not 53rd. Maybe 52nd.
60 I thought it was
52nd.
50
No,
Oh,
no,
they
no.
moved.
Ellen's Diner. No, Ellen's Diner.
Oh
is-
yes,
is
yes,
on the
yes.
top.
It's right next to the where
They
Cats was.
they line up
yeah,
down the street.
Yeah.
And Ellen is a student of mine. She's
No way.
She studies with
Ellen
me.
Stardust?
Yeah. Oh God. My master classes. We didn't even talk about my master
Oh
classes.
yes,
My master classes are really fun.
I've looked online and they're. So how often do you do a master class?
When I'm in New York, we have to do it sporadically, but always on a Saturday
How do
afternoon.
people find out
it's
about
5
it?
hours. They'll just have to email me, which is Marilyn@MarilynMaye.com. And I have a facilitator who, her name is Katie, and she, talks about it. And
Did you ever have a psycho student who's like?
no, but I had
you
an exuberant girl recently,
Right.
who was really good.
Really?
And she just so exuberant when I would give her an optional note. She'd go, "Oh!" She was fabulous, and she fell on the floor. And I said, "Why are you here?"
Right.
I said, "What? You know?"
What?
She was so thrilled, and she sang, and she was kind of like she was unleashed.
Right.
and I said, "Why did you come? What do you want from me?"
Right.
She said, "Oh, because you're the beast." And I said, I didn't really know what
I didn't
that
know.
meant.
Yeah.
And it said, "Oh, the people at Dizzy's, she knows all the employees at Dizzy's.
Right.
And they say you're the beast."
Oh, wow.
And whatever that means.
I think it's a good thing.
I hope it's not negative.
No, I think it's a good thing.
But she's really fun. So, and I have people, I have a 16-year-old girl. She was 14 when she joined me. She's wonderful. She's now 17, I think.
Wow.
And she's great. She's a great talent. And I have an 82-year-old man that's just terrific.
That's
He's
amazing.
adorable. He was an actor, and
Right.
now he wants to sing and do an act and everything in between. It's just a joy in my life. It's an inspiration, and I hope I can make a difference.
Oh my God, you already have.
Thank you.
And especially in my, I can't, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. I love being with you.
Oh, I love you. And listeners, look up Marilyn Maye and watch these old videos.
Maye.
Maye.
We have to. We
Yeah.
still have to spell the name.
Oh, yeah, 'cause-
the time that I don't have to spell the name will be the time I'm a star. I was just inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh my God.
Isn't that fun? In
That's
the
a-
Rock and Roll Hall. Isn't that fun? And then Michael Feinstein in Carmel, Indiana.
Yeah.
As I will be.
He has a
inducted
room there, yeah.
In their Hall of Fame. So
Wow.
that's like in September.
And
So
you're in the
that'll be fun.
Kansas.
Well, and the American Songbook. Oh,
Right.
we need to talk about that.
Yes, that's
the
right.
American Songbook.
I have that written down,
Cabaret Scenes. Darling Frank Dane called me and said we're part of that Great American Songbook,
yeah.
Award, and of course that's all I do is the Great American Songbook.
When you get an award, are you like,
I'm thrilled.
Thrilled,
I'm thrilled,
yeah.
of course.
and you know it's so
acknowledgement.
deserving.
It's
Yeah.
acknowledgement. More the audience every night.
So it's
that
amazing.
They should recognize you. It's nice.
I can't.
Cheers to you.
Thank you. You're the best. And as we always say, so long.
And everything was wonderful. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the visit. So long.